I was reading one of my myriad of books that I bought for Zap, a wonderful book called The American Boy's Handybook. And I saw this cool picture of this weird sling, and it says the bird Bolas. And I read about it, and this to me sounds like something that would work. And it says here, when you let go, the loaded ends of the strings will fly apart so that the missiles will cover a space in the air of 5 feet in diameter. If a string strike a bird, it will instantly wrap itself around and around the body. If the loaded ends strike the game, it will of course stun or disable it. So, to me, it sounds like the perfect thing to get a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna try and make one, and tomorrow we'll see if I can use one. I vaguely remember there being some lead down behind my dad's shop somewhere, like a pile of old bullets I saw. Try and find that and hopefully melt it down into my lead weights. This is going to be a process. It's important to take your tufa and just rub it back and forth at first. This takes off all those little saw lines and gets it all nice and flat, flush. So, I think I'm going to try and make lead balls about this big. I'm going to line this up and look at both sides here. Probably the thickest part is right here on the top. So that's where I'm going to make it. You don't want it in the middle because your gate has to go down. So that'll make it a lot bigger. But you want it in the thickest part because with all the heating you can actually crack your tufa and then you're going to have to make another mold. And I got to make 6 of these. Now it's time to make sure that our mold ends up lining up correctly. So to do this, I'm just going to balance this on here. Make sure it's lined up all the way around pretty good. And I'm just going to give it a little twist. There we go. So now I got to dig both those out so they're conical. So we need a way to pour the metal into the mold. And so we're going to make a little gate for that. It's important to have all of your edges sloping in. If you have any edges that curve down and under, you're only going to be able to make one mold before you pop it off and it shatters. So when we pour in our lead, this air in here needs to be able to escape, otherwise it's going to just push the air out and it's going to impede the lead going in. So what we're going to do is just carve little freaking lines that go out. See, now I've carved this little indentation here so that my inserts can fit in there. And it sits so that when it sits like this, there'll still be something in the mold and I bent those to latch on there. I'm going to preheat this by putting it on top of the fireplace here. If there's any moisture or it's really cold, then it can crack with the extreme temperature change. You also need to worry about the molds kind of fusing together and not popping loose. So if you're going to make more than one of anything, you got to blacken the mold. I'm going to try and do it with my kerosene lamp. So now I'm just going to put my insert inside of here. I'm going to close it up, make sure it's all lined well. And then I'm going to go and wire it shut. Alright, our lead is melted here. And then just pour it in there. Fingers crossed. Just fill it up till you see it coming up the gate like that. Alright, it's time to open this thing up. See if we actually made something or if this was a huge waste of time and energy. Whoa. There you go. One Leaden Bolas ball. Pretty amazing. Still needs some fine tuning, but the basis is there. So here's my finished Bolas. You can see I got my lead balls and I took my knife and carved off all that extra mold line stuff. Lead's pretty soft. And then I carved out this whole thing to expose the little stainless steel loop. This nylon is 2.5 feet long, and it's had a nice big knot to grip on. So, theoretically, I'm just gonna take this thing and swing it around. Well, it hit the tree, so maybe I can hit a turkey.